The conference room smelled like burnt coffee and cheap confidence. My director smiled when he slid the paper across the table. HR sat beside him, nodding like a metronome. Market adjustments, he said. 98,000 slashed to 38. I stared at the number, then at his face. They waited for my panic, for my protest, for gratitude that I was still employed. I nodded, calm. Inside, something locked into place. I remember when he hired me, 5 years earlier. Same room, different tone. "You're exactly what we need," he'd said, leaning forward, eyes bright. I believed him. I built their systems, saved failing contracts, took calls at midnight, missed birthdays. I let the company borrow from my life because I thought loyalty was currency. They rewarded me with trust, then comfort, then silence. The shift didn't come all at once, it never does. First, meetings I wasn't invited to, then projects reassigned temporarily. A junior manager suddenly copied on emails that used to be mine alone. I noticed the way conversations stopped when I entered, how my director stopped defending me, how praise turned into paperwork. I didn't ask questions, I watched. The proof came accidentally, a forwarded email not meant for me. Once we reset his compensation, he'll either fall in line or quit. Either way, we win. I read it twice, then I closed my laptop and finished my day. That night, I didn't rage, I didn't vent, I didn't tell my spouse or my friends. I opened a notebook and started planning. If they wanted to reduce me to a line item, I'd become a strategic variable, quiet, precise. I updated my resume with achievements they didn't even realize were rare. I called an old contact at a competitor they feared, one I'd quietly outperformed for years. I didn't beg. I offered solutions. Interviews happened in corners of my life they never saw. Early mornings, late lunches, neutral expressions at work while my calendar filled with escape routes. The competitor listened. They asked real questions. They understood the value of what I'd built. Their offer came fast. Double my original salary, equity, authority, a team of my own. I didn't accept right away. I waited. Back at my company, they grew bold. More pressure, more subtle humiliation. My director started speaking to me slowly, like I'd lost something. HR sent follow-up emails about team alignment. They thought I was shrinking. They didn't realize I was packing. The day I resigned, I arrived early. The office was quiet, fluorescent lights humming like a warning. I printed 2 letters, one resignation, one disclosure. At 10 sharp, I walked into the same conference room, same seats, same smug posture. "I've decided to accept the new compensation structure," my director said, smiling. "Glad you're being reasonable." I slid my envelope across the table. He opened it casually. Then his face changed. He read slower, then again. The silence stretched. HR stopped nodding. "I'm resigning effective immediately," I said. "I have accepted a role at your biggest competitor." His mouth opened, closed. I continued. "I'll be leading the division you've been failing to stabilize, and per my contract," I tapped the second letter, "I'm legally disclosing the proprietary inefficiencies you documented and ignored." Color drained from his face. He finally understood. This wasn't a resignation. It was a death warrant. He tried to speak. I stood first. "You smiled when you cut my salary," I said softly. "You assumed I had no leverage." I paused at the door, turned once more. "You taught me how this place really works. I just learned faster." I walked out without shaking hands, without looking back. The sun outside felt different, like permission. Weeks later, I heard the fallout. Clients followed me, investors asked questions, audits began. My former director was on leave, then gone. I don't feel angry anymore. Anger is loud. This was surgical. They tried to make me smaller to keep themselves comfortable. Instead, they showed me the exit, and I took their future with me. Sometimes justice isn't a confrontation, it's timing. And sometimes the most powerful revenge is leaving someone alone with the consequences they designed for you.